Welcome in this new episode of 1 Year with Film Only. Today we'll be discussing about film photography and if it's really saved or not. Okay guys, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I'm recording this video by myself with a new equipment, so a new camera, a new microphone and everything. So I hope the quality won't be too bad and bear with me until I get familiar with everything. So the question of today is if film photography is really saved or not. We've seen over the past month very encouraging information and news coming from major film companies or accessories like the lab box developer tank that are coming up. But the question is, and I'm wondering if we aren't celebrating a bit too fast, because we might be missing a few things to make sure that film is completely saved. I recently had a discussion with Juho Leppänen, I hope I pronounced your name good, with the guy behind CameraVentures.com. He has been studying the situation of film photography over the past 9 months and made an interesting report where he has very detailed information about the current situation and what could cause the death of film photography again. During his study, Juho interviewed more than 300 people that are actors in the film community. It went from CEOs to film photographers or even teenagers. And he wanted to have a global picture of what was the current situation and what could be done to make sure that film photography won't die a second time. He looked at the situation from his son's point of view and wondered, will my son be able to shoot film like I did when he'll turn 15? With this question, you approach the situation from a broader point of view and wonder who's going to process all those films once the last mini lab will die. The truth is that most labs are relying on old machines to develop and process the film. All the mini labs that we are currently using are most of them running on Windows XP. There are no updates provided for those machines. The parts are becoming more and more difficult to find. And another issue is to find staff that is trained and capable of maintaining those machines. So what he did is he knocked at the doors of those companies and asked them what was their plan to bring up new machine or maintain the existing ones. And the answers that he received was nothing but a cold shower. I think those companies didn't really anticipate the coming back of film, and they are now a bit worried about investing in this technology and seeing die in a few years. It could be just a fashion that will fade and eventually disappear again. So that's an issue because most of us, if we are fanatics like me, will develop film ourselves, but it's not everybody who has the time, the patience and the equipment to develop film at home. So I know that a lot of photographers are relying on those mini labs, and if they start to disappear, then there will be no one to maintain the flow and the activity around film photography. So it means that the new film stock that have been reintroduced will eventually die again, and we will end up with the same situation than the past years. Another sad truth to add to the drama is that every day there are less and less analog cameras. The reason is because the cameras that we are using are getting old. There are not so many people that are capable of maintaining or repairing those cameras. It costs a lot of money and people just don't bother fixing them. Another issue is that there are a lot of collectors that keep those cameras on their shelf and they don't use them or they don't want to sell them. I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anyone here, but it's just a real picture of the situation. So the problem is that we don't have any new film cameras coming up except for some lomography, but I know that it won't fulfill the needs of everybody. And I don't see companies like Canon or Nikon, just to name a few, bringing back to the market new analog cameras. In today's society, we are used to replace our cameras every 2-3 years, and I don't see any reason why they would bring cameras like in the past that would last for decades. It's against their business model, and I really don't see any company doing that in the near future. So since we are not ready to see new film cameras coming up to the market, the solution is simple: we have to maintain the existing one. There are still plenty of people that are capable of repairing and CLA those cameras, but the problem is to find those people. So the solution is to create a community around film photographers and also people that are repairing and servicing cameras. So people can easily get in touch with each other and find a local shop or an individual guy that would be able to help and fix their camera. That would help, of course, to have a constant flow and demand on film photography and everything that comes along, like chemicals, accessory, developing tank, and so on. And that would help us to maintain the fabrication cost as low as possible, so we can keep having the luxury of shooting film. Nowadays, everything happens online, and building an online presence takes a lot of time, energy, and money. And I can certainly imagine that people like individual or small stores don't have the resources to do so. That's where Camera Ventures comes to save the world of analog photography. The idea behind this website is to create a global community of photographers, of labs, of printers, and anything related to film photography. So people can connect with each other nationally or internationally as well. So everybody that has something to bring to the film community is welcome to join on his website. For people new to the party, it can be a great resource to have someone available nearby or somewhere that can answer questions, help with a camera not working, or how to develop film, and so on. There are hundreds of solutions that can be provided by this website. This is not something new to Juho, who already owns a shop of second-hand camera in Finland. And he already created a similar network that already got a bit of success. Looks like my cat has a lot to say about film photography too. And he created a similar network that already had success. But the plan now is to bring it on a larger scale and help people worldwide to connect with each other and save film. His approach and determination to keep film alive reminds me of a story that is usually shared among ecologists and environmentalists. And it fits perfectly the situation. I don't know the story by heart. I'm going to read it for you, so bear with me if I don't look at you for a second. So here I go. One day, a terrible fire broke out in a forest. A huge woodland was suddenly engulfed by a raging wildfire. Frightened, all the animals fled their home and ran out of the forest. As they came to the edge of a stream, they stopped to watch the fire, and they were feeling very discouraged and powerless. They were all bemoaning the destruction of their homes. Every one of them thought there was nothing they could do about the fire, except one little hummingbird. This particular hummingbird decided he would do something about it. It swooped into the steam and picked a few drops of water and went into the forest and put them on the fire. Then it went back to the stream and did it again. And it kept going back again and again. All the other animals watched it in disbelief. Some tried to discourage the hummingbird with the comments like, don't bother, it's too much, you are too little, your wings will burn. Your beak is too tiny, it's only a drop, you can put out this fire. And as all the other animals stood around discouraging the little bird's effort, the bird noticed how hopeless and forlorn they looked. Then one of the animals shouted and challenged the hummingbird in a mocking voice. "What do you think you are doing?" And the hummingbird, without wasting time or losing a beat, looked back and said, "I'm doing what I can." To me, Juho is a bit the hummingbird of the film community. He's showing the example and the path to follow to fight this fire. But if he's alone doing... Hi Billy. He wants to join to the fight against the death of the film photography. Until big players decide to come back and join the party, we are all by ourselves. But that doesn't mean film photography cannot survive without those actors. It would be a plus to have them on board, but we can do it by ourselves. We've seen the power of crowdfunding and what it can do. So I'm not worried too much, but we have to show them that there is a future for film photography and that they should really have an interest in it. May the force be with us and give Juho sons to shoot film when he'll turn 15. Together we can fight the dark side of digital photography. He's looking for enthusiastic people to join his project and his adventure. So if you think you have something to bring to the film community, fill in the form that I'm going to put in the description. His team will get in touch with you if they're interested in what you can bring, so you can be referenced on his website. That's it for today's episode, but before you go, let me know in the comments what you think about the future of film photography and what it will look like in the next decades or 15 years. I'd love to see what you guys have in mind. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this episode. And until then, I see you soon, guys. Bye bye.